Good morning and welcome. Thank you for being here today. Today we're going to look at unity principle number 3. And I want to start this morning with a simple story. A while ago, I had one of those mornings. You probably know the kind I'm talking about. I hit snooze way too many times and was running late. The dogs didn't want to get up any more than I did. Ruby finally did, but I literally had to drag Newton, my other small dog, out of bed. They were dragging their feet when I put them out. When I tried to let them in, I realized I was running out of time, so I jumped in the Zoom room for my work meeting without my green screen in place, spilled the last of my coffee down the front of my shirt in my haste, and as soon as the camera came on, I saw the cost of the extra time coaxing the dogs to follow the morning routine was that I had forgotten to brush my hair. It was too late. The client logged in just as I noticed my hair looked like I'd been breakdancing all night. And I gotta tell you, it was not a great start. I caught myself thinking, well, of course, this day is just going to be a flippin' disaster. Fortunately, for some reason, Unity's third principle came to mind. We're co-creators with God. Creating reality through thoughts held in mind. The first half, at least, popped into my mind. The rest I had to look up later. So I took a deep breath, laughed at the chaos, and tried a little experiment. I told myself, okay, this doesn't have to ruin the day. I can choose to shift my energy. I focused on being present, took another deep breath, and reminded myself that no matter what happened, I had the power to respond from a place of calm and clarity. The rest of that day unfolded differently than I expected. The client call went wonderfully, and they actually complimented me on my authenticity. A package I'd been waiting for arrived early. Small synchronicities seemed to appear throughout the day. Was it magic? No. But by shifting my consciousness, I opened myself to possibilities I would have missed if I had remained stuck in frustration and defeat. That simple morning exercise illustrates what I want to explore today. Unity's third principle is not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything's perfect. It's about understanding the incredible spiritual power we carry and learning how to co-create our lives with God through the consciousness we hold. This principle is often misapplied or oversimplified, and these misinterpretations can actually cause harm rather than healing. So let's start with some of the common misunderstandings. The first myth is that this is all about positive thinking. People hear thoughts held in mind produced after their kind and think, if I just think positively, everything will work out. They plaster on a smile, repeat affirmations mechanically, and expect instant results. When life doesn't cooperate, they feel like spiritual failures. Positive thinking can help, but it's only the surface level. It's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a cracked wall without fixing the foundation. True spiritual practice is about cultivating a deeper consciousness. It asks us to notice what drives our thoughts and to shift our awareness towards alignment with divine truth. The second myth is the idea that if something bad happens, it must be our fault because we didn't think the right way. This misunderstanding can lead to guilt or shame, and it creates a cruel form of spiritual bypassing. I've watched people blame themselves for illness, financial hardship, or relationship struggles, believing they somehow attracted these challenges through wrong thinking. This is not what Unity teaches. Life happens. We live in a world with natural laws, collective consciousness, and other people's free will. Challenges are part of the human experience. They're often how we grow and discover our spiritual strength. The third principle is not about blame, it's about recognizing our ability to choose our consciousness in any situation. The third myth is the idea that this principle makes us little gods who can control everything. Some people approach it like a cosmic vending machine. Put in the right thoughts and get the desired outcome. This creates unrealistic expectations and eventual disappointment. We are not the creator. God is infinite. The flow of love, life, and intelligence that moves through everything. We are expressions of that source. Our thoughts, beliefs, and actions shape our human experience in partnership with spirit, but they do not control every outcome. There's a fourth misunderstanding I want to address, and that's the belief that this principle requires us to deny negative emotions or difficult realities. Some people think that being conscious co-creators means they can never feel angry, sad, or afraid. But emotions are information. They're part of our human guidance system. This principle isn't about suppressing feelings, it's about not letting them drive the bus of our lives indefinitely. This principle is about alignment, responsibility, and awareness, not control, blame, or superficial positivity. Now, let's explore what it truly does mean to be a co-creator with God. God is not a distant paternal figure in the sky watching and judging our every move. God is the very essence of creative power, the source of life, love, and abundance. God is the intelligence that beats your heart, grows the flowers, and maintains the perfect order of the universe. Because we are expressions of that divine essence, we carry the creative spark within us. We're not separate from this creative force. We are individualized expressions of it. When Unity says that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, it does not mean fleeting thoughts count. Our daily worries or passing ideas do not instantly manifest. If they did, we'd all be in trouble because the human mind generates thousands of thoughts each day. It's the consistent, repeated pattern of thought, the beliefs we cultivate, the consciousness we nurture that creates our life experience. Think about it this way. If you plant a single tomato seed in your garden, but then neglect it, water it inconsistently, and plant weeds all around it, that tomato plant won't thrive. But if you tend the soil, water regularly, provide nutrients, and clear away the weeds competing for resources, that plant flourishes. Our consciousness works the same way. Imagine your consciousness like a garden, like the lovely poem in our fellowship space reminds us. Seeds that are planted grow. If we cultivate fear, worry, or lack, those seeds grow and shape our perception of choices. If we cultivate faith, love, and peace, those seeds grow instead. What we nurture in our consciousness will reflect in our experience. But here's the key. We're always gardening, whether we're aware of it or not. The question is whether we're planting intentionally or by default. Another way to think about it is like tuning a radio. Spirit is broadcasting love, joy, and abundance constantly. It never stops transmitting. But what station are we tuned to? When we dwell in fear, lack, or judgment, we're tuned to static. We can't hear the divine broadcast clearly. When we tune into faith, gratitude, and divine possibility, we begin to hear the broadcast of God's love clearly. This is not magic, and it's not instant. Circumstances may not change immediately, but how we perceive and respond to them shifts. And from that new perspective, new opportunities and possibilities often appear. We become more creative problem solvers, more attractive to positive relationships, more open to abundance in all its forms. The key word here is co-creator. We're not doing this alone. We're partnering with the infinite intelligence of the universe. Our role is to align our consciousness with divine truth. God's role is to move through us with perfect love and wisdom. Let me share a story from Exodus that illustrates this principle. In Exodus, the Israelites wandered in the wilderness. They faced fear, hunger, and uncertainty. At times, their thoughts were filled with complaint. Why did you bring us here to die? At least in Egypt we had food. We see how their consciousness of lack created experiences of lack. When fear dominated their thoughts, they experienced scarcity and suffering. But when they shifted back to faith and trusted divine provision, manna appeared. Their outer reality reflected the shift in inner consciousness. The wilderness wasn't just a physical place, it was a state of consciousness. And the manna wasn't just bread, it was the manifestation of trust and divine supply. This story teaches us that we always have a choice about where to place our mental and spiritual focus, even in the most challenging circumstances. Or to go back to a more typical example for me, think of Scrooge in Dickens' A Christmas Carol. His consciousness was completely tuned to the station of lack, fear, and isolation. He held thoughts of scarcity so firmly in mind they became his reality. He experienced exactly what he expected: loneliness, poverty of spirit, and a cold, empty existence. But when the spirits help him shift his consciousness, when he begins to hold thoughts of generosity, love, and connection, his entire world transforms overnight. The same London, the same people, but a completely different experience because his inner consciousness changed. This is the power of conscious co-creation. It is not about removing challenges, but about responding from a space of awareness and alignment with God. Modern research actually supports what Unity has taught for over a century. Neuroscientists have discovered that our brains are constantly rewiring based on what we focus on, a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. When we constantly hold certain thoughts and attitudes, we literally change the neural pathways in our brains. Studies show that people who practice gratitude have different brain activity than those who focus on complaints. Those who meditate regularly develop thicker prefrontal cortex region associated with better decision-making and emotional regulation. The field of psychonumerology demonstrates how our thoughts and emotions directly impact our immune system and physical health. This doesn't prove we can think our way out of every problem, but it does validate that consciousness has real measurable effects in our experience. We're not just dealing with wishful thinking, we're working with actual laws of mind and manifestation. How do we apply this principle in daily life? Through 3 steps: awareness, choice, and practice. Step 1 is awareness. Begin by noticing what thoughts you are consistently holding. Many of us operate on autopilot. Old patterns and beliefs run in the background like computer programs we forgot we installed. Awareness is the first step towards conscious creation. What station are you turned to? What seeds are you planting? What stories do you tell yourself about your life, your relationships, your possibilities? Try this exercise this week. Each day, set 3 random alarms on your phone. When they go off, pause and just notice what you were thinking. Don't judge, just observe it. After a few days, you'll start to see patterns. Maybe you discover you spend a lot of mental energy worrying about things that might happen. Maybe you notice you frequently criticize yourself. Maybe you realize you're often mentally rehearsing arguments or problems. This awareness is pure gold because you can't change what you're not aware of. Step 2 is choice. Once aware, we can choose to release thoughts that do not serve us and align with spirit. This may be as simple as interrupting a fearful thought with a deep breath and an affirmation of peace, love, or trust. Replacing "I cannot" with "through God, all things are possible" is one example. Sometimes it helps to have a menu of replacements. When worry arises, we can choose "I trust divine timing." When fear appears, we can select "I am safe in God's love." When lack seems real, we can affirm "divine abundance flows through my life." The key is gentle persistence, not perfection. We're not trying to control every thought. That would be exhausting and impossible. We're simply becoming more conscious gardeners of our inner landscape. Step 3 is practice. Consciousness is like a muscle. It strengthens with regular exercise. Tools like prayer, meditation, affirmation, forgiveness, and journaling help cultivate alignment. These practices are not empty rituals, they're instruments for transforming inner consciousness. Think of them as a spiritual workout that builds your capacity to hold higher thoughts and align with divine truth. For example, imagine you're worried about finances. The thought "there is never enough" creates stress and shapes perception. You might miss opportunities because you're focused on lack. You might make decisions from fear rather than wisdom. When you consistently affirm "God is my source," abundance flows through me, to me, and through me, your awareness shifts. You begin to notice opportunities you might have missed, a new income stream, a chance to save money, an unexpected gift or resources. You make choices aligned with peace and abundance rather than panic and scarcity. Your experience changes, even before outer circumstances dramatically shift. This is co-creation. It's not control, but conscious partnership with God. And here's where grace comes in. None of us will maintain perfect thoughts all the time. We're human beings having a very human experience. The goal is awareness, gentle correction, and consistent practice, not perfection. Unity's third principle is often misunderstood, but when properly understood and applied, it becomes one of our most powerful spiritual tools. It's not shallow positivity, blame, or control. It's a call to conscious partnership with the creative force of the universe. Our thoughts matter because they shape our consciousness. Consciousness shapes our perception, response, and opportunity. When we align our thinking with divine truth, love, abundance, wisdom, peace, we become channels for these qualities to express through us into the world. This principle doesn't promise a life without challenges. It promises a life where we meet those challenges as a conscious co-creator rather than a helpless victim. It doesn't guarantee specific outcomes, but it assures us that we always have the power to choose our response and align with divine possibility. This week, I invite you to try another experiment. Choose one situation where you usually react automatically. It could be traffic, a challenging conversation, a worry about the future. In that moment, in that thought, pause and breathe. Notice your thoughts and then shift it towards love, peace, or possibility, and observe what unfolds. Circumstances may remain the same, but your experience will shift. You will be aligned with divine consciousness and open to new opportunities. It's a small way to build the muscle of conscious choice. Remember, we're co-creators with God. We're not alone in our efforts to transform our lives and our world. Spirit is always with us, always within us, always broadcasting love, abundance, and possibility. Our task is to tune in, plant seeds of truth, and nurture them with faith and practice. When we truly understand and live this principle, we discover that we are not small, powerless beings at the mercy of external circumstances. We are expressions of divine creative power, capable of transforming any situation through the consciousness we hold. This is not arrogance. It's our spiritual birthright and responsibility. And now let's take this principle into our meditation. Take a deep breath with me and let us center ourselves in the consciousness of divine love and infinite possibility. Find a comfortable position, and if you'd like, gently close your eyes. Allow your body to settle and your breath to find its natural rhythm. With each exhale, release any tension or concern from the day. With each inhale, welcome in the peace and presence of this sacred moment. Begin to imagine yourself standing at the beginning of a beautiful path. This path represents your spiritual journey of conscious co-creation with God. You cannot see the entire route from where you stand, but you can see the first step clearly before you. Remember that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And today, in this moment, you're taking that step, or the next, depending on where you find yourself on your journey. As you place your foot on that next step on the path, feel the solid ground beneath you. This is the foundation of divine love that supports you always. You are not walking alone. With each step, you are accompanied by infinite wisdom and creative power of spirit. Now bring to mind the consciousness you wish to cultivate. Perhaps it's peace instead of worry. Maybe it's abundance instead of lack. It could be love instead of fear, or hope instead of despair. Whatever transformation you seek, hold it gently in your awareness, like a precious seed you are about to plant. See yourself taking another step on the path. With this step, you are choosing to align your thoughts with divine truth. You understand that this is not about perfection, but about gentle, consistent practice. Some days the path may feel steep, other days it flows easily downhill. Both are part of the journey. Take another step and another. With each one, feel yourself growing stronger in your ability to choose your consciousness. You are learning to tend the garden of your mind with the same care a master gardener tends their most prized flowers. You water the thoughts that serve you, and you gently pull the weeds of old patterns that no longer help you grow. As you continue walking, you begin to notice that the landscape around you is changing. Where once there may have been thorns of fear, you now see flowers of faith blooming. Where once there were rocks of resistance, you now find smooth stones of acceptance. This is the power of consciousness held consistently in partnership with God. Look ahead on your path now. You can see yourself further along the journey, transformed by the daily practice of conscious co-creation. This future you radiates the very qualities you've been cultivating. As we enter a minute of silence, spend it in the presence of the future you and feel the encouragement. Now bring your awareness back to this moment, to this breath, to this body. You carry with you the knowing that you are a co-creator with God, that your thoughts matter, that your journey of transformation continues with each conscious choice you make. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and remember the 3 simple steps we explored today. Awareness of what thoughts we're holding, choice to align with divine truth, and practice to strengthen our spiritual consciousness. This journey of co-creation isn't about achieving perfect thoughts every moment. It's about gentle, consistent practice, knowing that each conscious thought moves us closer to the life we're meant to live in partnership with God. And so it is. Thank you.